Hey YouTube, how you doing? Israel here with another video. This video is just going to be a discussion on the use of serrations or not serrations on a tactical type blade. A lot of people ask, like, you know, should I get fully serrated, combo edge, partly serrated, plain edge, what, you know? Well, this is just going to be my opinion on the matter, and I have examples of all the different options, okay? Here we have a cold steel Voyager, and you can see it is fully serrated. All right, fully serrated 4-inch blade. And this is a Kershaw Cyclone, and it is partially serrated. You see there the partial serrations on that Kershaw Cyclone, also known as a combo edge. All right, and Columbia River Knife and Tool Desert Cruiser. This is also a combo edge. All right, you see those rather jagged serrations there. And a plain edge knife. Hold on, let me polish it a little bit. You know, this is a Mannix 2, and I just chose to show this as the example of the plain edge because it has such a full flat ground satin finish edge that it just shows up well on the camera. All right, so the plain edge. Now most people prefer plain edge, and about 90% of my knives are also plain edge. Certain knives only come in combo edge, like this Desert Cruiser right here. It only comes in combo edge, so that's why I got it, you know. But most people will prefer the plain edge. All right, so people are worried, like, you know, will the serrations affect the ability of the knife, you know, to perform, especially if you had to use it defensively? I'm going to tell you right now, it pretty much does not matter. In almost every situation you can think of, it doesn't matter, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's take the full serrated, okay? First of all, one of the most important attack modes for a knife is obviously thrusting with the blade, and because all the force of the thrust goes through to just a tiny little needle-like tip, okay, I think it's pretty obvious if you thrust with all your force, okay, into the soft, fleshy body, you know, humans are 70% water, okay, so a full force thrust, it's not going to matter one bit whether there's serrations or not, because it's such a massive amount of force concentrated on that tip that, you know, some people are afraid the serrations might get hung up or something. A thrust is such a powerful attack that, you know, I have no doubt that if I thrust into, you know, let's say I was attacked by a rabid dog or something, and I thrust this, I have no doubt that serrations or not, this would go clean through, okay, to the base. So for thrusting, serrations don't matter, all right? Now let's talk about for slashing. Well, you know, people might not realize, but a slash is a tight, quick motion from the elbow, and a real slash basically hits with the belly of the knife, which is right here. You know, it's biting into it like, hold on, it's biting into it like that, okay? You don't really, the bottom part of this blade doesn't even really come into play, okay? And if you don't know what I mean, check out the video entitled The Cutting Board by Mr. Fair Warning, where he basically uses a wooden knife to hit against a board, and you'll see when he hits the board, okay, his slashes are hitting with the belly of the knife, okay? So these serrations with slashing, these serrations are not even going to come into play, so it truly does not freaking matter with the combo edge. Now, yeah, in a fully serrated, obviously the serrations would come into play, but look at those serrations. I mean, look how fine they are and look how ultra sharp they are. It just would not matter. I mean, if you got slashed with this, I have no doubt that it would cut the target wide open. Okay, serrations, plane, it just wouldn't matter for slashing. All right, now let's talk about, so we covered thrusting, we covered slashing. Pretty much a lot of basic knife comes down to thrust and slash, slash and thrust. Okay, so but there's one other important technique, which is called close cutting, which is basically it's grappling with a knife. It's super close range. Close cutting meaning pressure cutting, whether you're talking about the guy's hand, his elbow, his bicep, his leg, his freaking, if necessary, his neck. When you talk about close cutting, you're basically talking about slitting someone's throat. And would serrations affect it? I gotta say, man, if you're at the point in a fight where you have the edge of your knife on some dude's throat, the fight is over. You've already won that fight. Serrations or not, that person is dead, because you're just going to draw it across and in. And so again, for close cutting, it just doesn't matter. And even if it did, like let's say that you were afraid the serrations would get hung up on clothing or whatever, it doesn't matter, because if you're at the point where you're close cutting someone's body, you're already close enough that you could simply thrust in. Okay, you don't have to cut someone's neck. You could simply thrust in. All right, so if you're at the point where you're close cutting, the serrations, it's not going to matter, dudes. It's really not, So yeah, I mean, for thrusting, not going to matter. For slashing, not going to matter. For close cutting, pretty much not going to matter. So for at least for three of the most common attacking techniques with a blade, the serrations won't matter at all. And I think people know that deep down. I mean, if you check this out, this will go through like a chain, this will cut like a chainsaw, serrations or not. And by the same token, this completely plain edge blade will also slice right through any sort of, whether an animal or a criminal is attacking you. I mean, either one, the fully serrated, the not serrated, it's more on how you use it. All right, so that's my answer. All right, so I hope that has answered some questions. This is, these are just my opinions on how I decide which to buy. I would recommend plain edge for most people. It is the most popular, so if you're thinking about investment and resale value, you're going to want the plain edge because it'll be easier to sell for a better price. At the same time, some stuff only comes in combo edge. And I don't let that stop me if I think the design is overall good. I don't let it stop me. I'll buy the combo edge version. And sometimes you just want, for whatever reason, you might want a fully serrated, and nothing wrong with that. I think this knife, would be perfectly capable for anything I would need it to do. So I hope that got you thinking, and as always, just my personal preference, decide for yourself, but I want to put that out there because it's a very common question. All right, this has been Israel. I'm going to get out of here. Stay tuned for many more videos. Peace out, dudes.